Hello, welcome to Escape the Box Piano, it's Dan here. Today we're going to look at a Boogie Woogie version of When the Saints Go Marching In. It's a great little arrangement, here's what it sounds like. Okay, let's dive straight in. We'll look at the left hand first. Let's get that pattern nailed down that drives the whole thing through. So from middle C, you're going to go down one octave, get your thumb on that C, get your fifth finger on the C beneath that. That is where we're going to start. Okay, so the notes are C and then C, E, F, F sharp, G, then a low G, and then repeat the G up there again. And that repeats, just play that pattern. Once you've got your hands used to the mechanics of moving around those notes, I like to give the Boogie Woogies a swung feel, so try and go for that kind of swung, long, short note pattern. Here's what I mean. Take it easy to start with, take it at a nice gentle tempo. The record pace that you just listened to is 138 beats per minute. Here's what 138 beats per minute sounds like, and that left hand groove. Okay, the lovely thing about that Boogie Woogie riff in the left hand, and like loads of Boogie Woogie riffs, is that it's kind of a portable pattern. You're effectively going to play this pattern starting on C, starting on G, and starting on F. Let's have a look at the pattern starting on G. So if we play from C, you're then going to jump quickly, get your fifth finger on that G that you just played, get your thumb on the G above it, and here are the notes. G and G, B, C, C sharp, D, D, and then octave D again. And with the swung feel, okay, let's look at the same pattern on F. It feels slightly different on F, and it's just to do with where the combination of black notes and white notes are in the middle. The riff feels ergonomically the same as it, on G as it does on C. In the middle bit in F just feels slightly different. Here are the notes, F and F, A sharp, B, C, and then C and C. A great way of practicing is to practice those three riffs individually. When you're really comfortable with them individually, now start linking them together. Try a couple on C, then go up to G for a couple, go down to F for a couple, and then back to C. Let me show you. back on that pattern starting on C. Be careful when you're going between the C pattern and G and then the F pattern back to C. You'll notice that there were some repeated notes. From C to G, we play that G, and then immediately you play the same G again with your fifth finger at the beginning of the G pattern. On the F pattern, get to the end of that F pattern, but now we're going to go back to C and your finger is already there, so you start again on the C. That's all you need to know. In the left hand, it's reasonably straightforward. I always think in Boogie Woogie, actually the left hand is the most important thing. You have to practice those riffs to death so much so that they are in muscle memory, so that you are 100% mechanical in the left hand, because that's what allows the right hand to fly and riff over the top of this impeccably solid left hand. So work to get those riffs up to 138 beats per minute, not just within themselves but connected to each other. Here's what I mean. Here's the metronome at 138. 2, 3, 4. And so on. We've had a look at the left hand, now let's look at the right hand. We'll split this into two parts. So when you listened to the playthrough, it's effectively two verses. It's one which is reasonably, the theme is reasonably straight as far as the Saints Go Marching In that you know, and then the second version is riffed around with a little bit more. Okay, we're going to start on middle C, so get your thumb on middle C. And here we go. Let's just take a look at that, what we did there. So you've got an F sharp up to a G, and you kind of really crunch those two notes together. The G is the strong note, the F sharp is just like a little grace note that gets kind of caught just before you press down the G. And this starts on the second beat of a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 1. That was the right hand with these little grace notes. And also you would have noticed about halfway through something called a tremolo, where you alternate between C and E very, very fast with your thumb and fifth finger. I would contend that within the piece, tremolos in Boogie Woogie, there and there's one in the second half, probably the single most difficult thing to pull off. Everything else is kind of mechanical, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, everything locks in. The tremolo is more difficult because it kind of moves away from the swung rhythm, and it's just a freeform thing that's happening in the right hand over this very solid bass line. That can be quite difficult to pull off. So let's do the right hand again, but let's just take the tremolo and these little grace notes out and we'll play it straighter than it was. So here's a simplified version. 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. Let's look at this from the beginning. Hands together, no trills, no tremolo. And now we're going to change the left hand pattern to the G pattern. Back to the C pattern. Onto the F pattern. Back to the C pattern in the left hand. Up to the G pattern. Back to the C pattern in the left hand. And then we pick up into the second verse at that point. My advice to start with would be to get it hands together like I just showed you, without the grace notes, without the tremolo. When you're a little bit more comfortable, try squeezing in those kind of grace notes. Tremolo, practice it hands separately, and the left hand. Maybe give the left hand a few goes round and then try and fit the tremolo in over the top. Like that. Let's take a look at the right hand second verse and including the ending. We'll look at it with the grace notes and the tremolo, and then we'll do the same thing but without. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Same thing without the trills and just holding a chord down instead of the tremolo. finally, let's put hands together, verse 2 and the ending. No grace notes, no tremolo. So we've just come out of the end of verse 1. And you can see right at the end there, I've taken the C an octave lower than I've been before. So a little bit more complexity in that second verse. There's a bit more movement in the right hand against the left hand. Again, same principles as the first verse. Get used to playing it kind of flat like that, and then add in the spice of the kind of grace notes. Etc, etc. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. If you have, do leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more great tutorials, and put some comments. Let me know what you'd like to see transcribed or tutorial for next. I hope to see you again very soon.